Okay, good.
Lagos.
Oh, you're in Lekki. Good. I can see that. If you're Olumide is in Lagos. Is it the Olumide that I know?
Yes, now.
Okay, now. Okay.
Philadelphia.
Yes, I can see Kojo from Lagos. Oh, Philadelphia. Thanks, Didi, for joining in.
From the US.
Yeah, from the US. Thanks. Good to see you. Bayelsa State, Emilia. Great. Great.
Emilia is a Port Harcourt girl.
AB. Wow. Okay, on transit now. Great. Wow, so refreshing to have every one of you. I am excited. I am glad, It's been a long time coming and we are here. This is amazing. So we'll just get right straight to it. I think we are about 17 on the call. Who is this?
Did you say she's an OG Port Harcourt girl?
Okay. You understand?
Girl.
Yeah. Don't come and do Port Harcourt Union here now.
Oh, please.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll just start sharing my screen and we'll get right straight to it, what we have for the day. I believe you already understand what it's about. It's about standards. This matter. We are here. Okay. Please just let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. I can see your screen.
Thank you. If you are okay, so this is just a brief introduction of who we are, the Tri-Family Network. That's who we are and what we have been called to do. You already have that on the WhatsApp group, so I'm not going to go over that again. And most of you here know us already and what we do and what we stand for. Yeah, but we just no need to go over this again. Okay, today is about talking about standards. Yeah, let's talk standards. The pressure is real. Yeah, so this is one discussion that is very vital and important in this day and age we live in, because we just discovered that it's eroding gradually. And I know it will bless you. I know most of you are listening to the video, and that leads me to the next slide. The acronym for STAND. How many of you watched the video? If you did, can you just type one of the acronym of STAND on the chat box? Just type one of the acronym of STAND. What S stands for, T stands for, A stands for, N, and D. What it stands for. Just we are good with one. I want to see the chat coming. Yes, keep typing. Ooh, we have substitution. Great. Okay, please, can you mute yourself? Coming in. Okay, great. Yeah, so can you, if you can remember and you watched the video, can you just give us one of the acronym for STAND? Amazing. Oh, train, good. I can see substitution, train. Any one of them, it must not follow the same order. Train, great. Who can remember? I've not seen A, I'm waiting for N and D. Oh, application in Kiruka, the scholar. What is it now? What is it?
I just decided to put it out there. Just take it off.
Good. Wow, this is amazing. Oh, so Al has build everyone out. Yeah. So that's the acronym for STAND, and I think it speaks to what we are discussing and what our heart is concerning this topic of standards. Yeah. So I'll just take you to the next page because I think we have it here. So next. Good. What you have on the screen is setting standards. Yeah, and standards is like a two-edged sword. From one of the things that you said in the video that really touched me and struck a chord is that standards are actually a proper response to God's faithfulness. So that means if you don't set standards, if you don't have standards in your life, you're not responding to God's faithfulness effectively. Yeah. And also standards positions us to receive all that God has made available. So for everything we ever need, yeah, it's available. God has already made them available. So standards helps us to properly respond to that which God has made available, and also positions us to receive it. Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, so I would like you to, we've gone through this before. I want you to just type in the chat box which one you actually struggle with, you know, in the acronym STAND. Yeah, for those who didn't watch it, this is what it means, you know.
Okay,
I
so
think my wife will take it
I
from
think,
here.
okay, maybe let's not say struggle, because we say struggle is like it's very deep. Let's just say, okay, which one are you seeking? Do you think you need the opportunity for growth, as in the one that you know
Okay.
you need to grow in that area? Yes, to be stronger in that area. So yes,
So I don't know if that's clear.
okay, that's substitute. Yes, because substitution is it's like, no, substitution is the one that Paul said we die daily. Because the grace to submit your will to God's will, it's not as easy as it sounds, but with intentionality and consistency, it eventually becomes easy.
Yeah.
People, that's Desmond. Okay, no, with saying no. I thought you were saying no one. I wanted to say, we have somebody here.
No, and anybody that does not respond, that means the person is good enough, you know. And we have our own struggles, or not struggles per se, like you said, opportunity for growth, where we need growth, you know. So this is a cheat chat, not like a seminar, but we just have some slides to guide us. Yeah, so please, it's going to be very interactive. Yeah, good. I'm saying, yeah. Amazing. T can be very difficult. Oh my God. You know, when it has to do with training yourself to be godly through spiritual exercises, that can be very difficult. If you stay in Lagos, it's one of our major challenge. Who is like me in Lagos? You know, we do, when churches even organize online prayer, we do it on the road, in the vehicle, you know. We're just trying to meet up. You understand? So it's challenging based on our environment, yeah? But it's also very required. Good, let's keep them coming in, please. If you have not typed in, we're actually trying to say, where do you require growth in? Which of these acronyms do you require growth in? So good, I think we have good responses already. And this is amazing. This is amazing. Okay, so overall, can you just tell me your reaction of the video? If you watched the video, can you just tell us your reaction, you know, of the video, what it did to you? Yeah, what did the video actually do to you? Can you just type it in the chat box also? Yeah, I just need to get responses from your encounter with the video. If you didn't watch the video, that's fine. That's fine. You'll get to watch it probably after the session today. But if you did, I'll just like you to, you know, stir up those people that didn't watch it. What was your takeaway? You can just put it in the chat box. You know, what did you take out of the video? What struck a chord? You know, what was your aha moments, like we usually say? Good. Okay, we're still getting responses in. I'm not seeing your responses. Please let them come in. Let them come in. Let them come in. Let them come in. What word, what rema did you get? Heart check, and also push my confidence a step further that I'm doing what is right. Amazing, Ifyok. This is a very good feedback. Very, very good feedback. Yeah. Okay. Any more comments on what you learned from the video? Okay, good. So just keep them coming in. I know you're trying to recollect what you've learned, but that's fine. But everything, as we can see, these are keys. These are vital keys, you know, that we need to have to be able to build standards, you know, and live a life of standards, because like I said, it's eroding in our generation and it's something that needs to be restored. And we're going to be looking deep into what standards are and the kind of standards we need to set, because it's very, very important. Yeah, this week actually changed my own life, you know, and made me remember some things that work, because nothing happens by mistake. Nothing happens by chance. Everything happens intentionally. Yeah, people who are doing well, they live intentionally. And so nothing happens by mistake. Good. So we'll move further to the things we want to see today. I'm excited. Good. What is the word standard? So you permit us, we're going to engage in some conversation. Then we'll take questions and just open up the room for us to discuss, if you wouldn't mind, yeah? So we'll start by having a clear definition of what standard is, yeah? Something established by authority, a custom, or a general consent as a model, example, or point of reference. That's a simple dictionary meaning of what standard is. Something established by an authority. So standards, so to speak, it's not what you just like to do, but is established by an authority or a custom or general consent. And that becomes your model, it becomes your example, and it becomes your point of reference. So in life generally, everyone is living by a standard. Even right now, what you're doing right now, whatever you're doing, you are living by a certain standard. The question is it the right standard? Yeah, because standards defines or determines your outcome. So whatever you're experiencing right now is a combination of the standards you have embraced, a combination of the standards you have put to work, a combination of the standards you follow or you have given your consent to. That's what is generating the outcomes you're experiencing. And so it's important for us to understand that standard governs the entire world. Even as an engineer that I am, we work by standards. You can't just manufacture something without it conforming to a particular standard. So every kingdom has its standards. Every system in the world today has its standards. Marriage has its standards. Relationship has its standards. But it all depends on the standard you choose to embrace. Yeah. So you can't neglect standard. Everything stands, in fact, everything stands on standards. Everything. Everything. Nothing stands on its own. Standards is like the foundation, is like a seed. So nothing happens if standards are not in place. Show me a positive outcome. Show me something that is working. Yeah, I will show you people who have embraced standards. Nothing works. There is utter chaos, riots, where there are no standards. So if a life is not packaged or well organized, the diagnosis leads to the standards that that person has embraced, or that life has embraced, or the life is living by. Yeah. So it's just like a farmer, for instance, if you refuse to sow the right seeds, weeds don't need permission to grow. It's a standard. Do you understand? So if you have a large expanse of land and a farm and you do nothing about it, the standard is that weeds will grow. So if you do nothing, if you don't superimpose a standard in your location, the existing natural standard will work. So you need to superimpose a particular standard, what you want to see wherever you are, for you to experience what you want to experience. So you don't just desire things. You look for standards to obey. You look for standards to follow. Yeah. So right standard leads to right outcomes. In fact, it leads to predictable outcomes. The reason why relationships fail, marriages fail, a lot of things happen in our world today is because people don't embrace standards. Yeah, and it's showing in our society today. So kingdom standards, and I want to believe that a percentage of us know what kingdom represents, you know, and it's for every kingdom of darkness, kingdom of God, they all function by standards. Yeah, so any life you are living is living in the way of that kingdom that you belong to. That's it. So your standard is your true voice. You see, you can tell me, oh, you can have the rhetoric, you can have all the language and everything, but at the end of the day, life only respects your standards. That's how it is. Yeah, that's how it is. And so that leads me to some very important questions we asked, you know, and I know you saw them in the advert that came out. how do I set standards and create boundaries? Yeah, how do I set standards? Because, and many of us have also confirmed that the challenge, that we always face, these are attacks on our standards and values. For instance, statistics says that in this year alone, I read it in the newspapers, yet to be verified and confirmed, but in this year alone, we've recorded about 4,000 cases of divorce in court. 4,000 cases of divorce in court. And if you ask me, every 1 year, that is single, desire to get married. Every 1 year that is single, except, you have a special calling. But people are getting married like every Saturday. And this year alone, from one of the courts, as in the courts, the judiciary itself, they reported about 4,000 cases, maybe carry over from previous years and like that. But people are going in and people are going out because standards and boundaries are not in place. Yeah, so it's important that you see this as a very critical thing to embrace and thing to put in place whenever, as you deal with life completely. People have even lost their jobs because they do not understand how to set standards and boundaries. Yeah, you see people who are good guys, and they get into an organization. If I had a friend of mine who said that he was scared about, his current transfer. He was transferred from the site to Lagos office, and he said, because of the kind of influence around him, he's scared, he's perturbed, because the guys around him, they are the guys who like to do some extra hours, in Lagos, go to the clubs, and just live, the life that he doesn't want to live. So he was kind of living in fear whether he should accept that promotion or not. So I told him the importance of having standards and making them known. And today is standing on that. So it's important that you create boundaries and set standards. But the problem with most people is that they don't understand how to do this. So there are 3 stages in getting this done. So how do I set standards? First is to discover. When I mean discovery, it's answering some basic questions. Who am I? Where am I going? Whose attention am I seeking? What do I want to attract? Whose expectation am I trying to meet? And what do I need? Now, this may seem very simple questions, and you may think you have answers to them. But trust me, if I ask you the first question, and this is my journey with a lot of people that I've talked with. And when I ask them, who are you? They only tell me what they have become. They don't tell me who they really are. I don't know if that makes sense. They only tell me what they have become. They don't tell me who they really are. There's a difference between what you have become and what you are. What you have become is, now listen.
I have a question.
Okay, you have a question, Kojo. Okay.
You just said something very, very deep. You said when people ask you where you are, you tend to say what you've become, right?
Yeah.
And which is different from who you are. So yeah. I know this is a question or that, from a Christian background, we want to find out who we are. How do you know who you are? How do you get to know who you are? So, people would say, well, you pray to God and you get your purpose, but it's hard to get to know who you are. So that's the question I have. How do you get to know who you are?
Great. Thanks, Kojo, for that question. I was just about to go right in. So,
okay.
Now, when it comes to, let's look at it literally, your journey. You were given birth to by 2 people who came together, probably had a relationship, sex happened, and you were given birth to. That is your first encounter with humans. Yeah? And whatever you were taught, whatever you were schooled with, were their own preferences. So if your parents taught a certain way, or if the society taught a certain way, that is what they passed on to you. Now, if you were in an environment, if you were born into an environment where it's noisy, there's every tendency that you will learn how to read, as in you will know how to read in a noisy environment. You can even be in a club and be reading because you grew in that environment. Yeah. So, and that becomes when you are in a quiet place or you're with somebody and the person says, I can't read where it's noisy, it's strange to you. Because you've been trained by two different people or in two different environments with different choices and different preferences. Do you understand? So you had teachers when you were a victim of the knowledge of your parents, the knowledge of your teachers, their preferences, their choices, the decisions they made. So you are a victim of even your aunties and your uncles that trained you, the school you went to. At the end of the day, when you are asked who you are a combination of all these people. So it simply means that you are responding to who you have become. Your answer will be, this is what I have become. Now, I grew up in a family that is polygamous, yeah? And I never used to have my dad around, you know? So it was difficult to understand what fatherhood is. Now, and there are things around my home. For instance, we like to eat, let me just use food as an example. We eat rice, beans, and bananas on Sunday. That's what they were used to. So every Sunday, we rejoice at it. It became my preference at a later time. It became my preference. Even the kind of songs we were exposed to, it became my preference. So when I'm being asked, who am I only respond with what I have become by virtue of all the experiences I've gathered, what I am a victim of. Now, the question is, how do I know who I am? As in, who am I really? I can only get that information from the one that made me. It is clear. The only one that can tell me who I am is the one who made me. Because from the Bible, which is our standard, it said concerning Jeremiah, and this is where we all learned it from, that before I formed you, I already knew you. Do you understand? So before you were formed, there is a script concerning you. There is a plan for your life. So you are not an accident. You were intentionally formed by God. Everyone, no matter the number we are on the face of the earth. Yeah. So you need to connect with your pre-birth or preconception, or yeah, that's the pre-birth. You need to connect with that life, and it comes with the things that you learn from God, your maker. Yeah. So if you want to find out who you really are, you need to get to the manufacturer. It's just like a product anywhere. We can have a Samsung phone in our hands, or Apple phone, iPhone, whatever it is. And at the end of the day, you see that the screen is broken, is battered. Is the user, is the experience that phone has had in the hands of the user, not really what it is. The only person that can tell the full capacity and future of that phone is the manufacturer. Yeah. So a user can be using it for only phone call. That is what it has become. But if manufacturer knows everything, the potential of that device. So really, I cannot separate this answer from the Christian perspective and seeing God as our creator and getting back to him in the place of prayer, in the place of engagement, seeking him on who I really am. And getting in tune with yourself, being able to differentiate what you actually learned and what's inside of you really want to achieve. Because if you look introspectively, you will begin to discover the things that you actually learned from people and the things that you really want to do. And that's why some people wake up tomorrow, they have no singers in their home. There's nothing like that. And they become singers. It's not because, no, there was nobody like that. And they just began to say, oh, I want to sing. And you see their parents revolting them and saying, no, don't go in this line. No, don't go in this line. At that particular point in time, they are connecting with who they really are. Do you understand? And not what the world wants them to become. So you must connect with who you really are. And that becomes, and you have a seed of God inside of you, which is your spirit. So when you begin to allow your spirit speak to you, you begin to connect with who you really are, and not just what society and the people around you want you to become.
Okay, can I just add something?
Yeah, you can. You can.
Yeah, I'll just add that to it's a journey to know who you are, to discover who you are. It's a journey, because most times we just feel it will just happen automatically. We just get to know, but it's a journey, and it's a journey that we do in God. Because most times the thing about believers most times is that we are in a hurry. Like when we are seeking God for something, we want to use our own timing. But there is a way God unveils who we are to us. He does it in bits and pieces, and he does it in stages and in seasons. So you have to begin then he will continue to lead you on, and you have to be patient and guard his pace, and you have to be consistent. And that's one thing that people lack when it comes to discovering who they are. You have to be consistent in seeking, because the Bible says that those that seek will find. So you have to keep on seeking. And if you seek in truth, as in if you sincerely desire to know, God will not withhold information about you from you. He can withhold information about someone else from you because maybe he wants to reveal it by himself or yourself. But when it comes to you, you go to God and you say you want to know who you are. He will never withhold that information from you, because it is important for him that you fulfill the purpose for which he has sent you. So you have to be patient in that journey. You have to be consistent, and you have to always be sure that your desire to know who you are, it's sincere, and it's because you want to fulfill it. Because it's one thing for God for you to discover it, and it's one thing for you to move ahead to pursue who that person that God has designed you to be. So the sincerity of your heart, the consistency of your pursuit is always very important when it comes to knowing who you are.
Okay, thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate that. On this, finally, Kojo, I just want to say my own story. Yeah, when I was rounding up my secondary school back in Kaduna State. Yeah, so I was the social prefect, in my school, and when I was graduating, my friend's elder brother came and said something to me that, Femi, you are a material. And I know what material looks like, what he was saying.
Sorry, I don't know if it's from my end, but it's lagging. I don't know if it's just from my end.
Oh, please, let's know. Please, someone.
He's lagging.
I'm on the network.
Oh.
We are checking. Should we switch to?
Sorry, let's just quickly switch. Just 1 second, please. Oh no.
Femo, we're not hearing you well, the network.
Yes, so I'm trying to switch. I'm trying to switch to another network. Sorry. Apologies, please. Hold on.